personally started Chime about 8 months ago, right when we went into COVID. And Randy, I told Randy, I don't know if I'm making the right decision, but you know what? I need this. And now, fast forward 9 months, 10 months later, I'm just mentally blown off to say, wow, I wish I had known Chime ahead of time. I've been in the business 17 years, and discovering new things. That's what COVID did to us, right? Okay, awesome. I'm totally excited to have all of you guys here. Matt is from, I think, he's our lender here today.
Yes, he's a lender from Philadelphia.
Awesome. Okay, so I am totally excited. Please, everybody, tell us where you're from, city and state. We're going to crush it today. I am going to look at our attendees, see where everyone is from. So if you guys can just type in the chat box where you guys are from, I would really, really appreciate it. Anyway, so we have Randy here. My most favorite place, from my most favorite place actually, which is Chime. I love Chime.
Right, that's a place.
That is a place. No,
that is a place.
Okay, not a place. Sorry, my bad.
It's a place.
It is. It's somewhere.
It has a place in my heart.
All right, Steve, you already started clowning on me. All right, okay. All right, so I'm a sport. It's okay. We'll clown on each other. So our attendees are, let's see, Rochester, Westchester, ATL people. Where are you? Let's go.
Come on, guys.
Okay, so I'm going to make a really good introduction, and really, Steve is an amazing person. But I want to talk about yes, you are, from the little that I've known, but let's talk about what this webinar is all about, you guys. We are talking about the impact of the pandemic so far, and, just really significantly how it's altered the way we do real estate business now because of COVID, how that has been such a game changer. That is our topic today. And this is featuring one of many realtors here at EXP, but more than anything, Steve is an amazing realtor, entrepreneur in San Diego, and he will highlight some lessons learned from the disruptive year that we've had, the best practices for ongoing success, and the normals. Like, what are the normals? What do we reflect on now, and how can that change the importance of the role of technology, right? And also, like, staying into a long-term success with everything that we've learned in the last year. So, Steve, welcome.
Thank you.
You are a thought leader, author, entrepreneur, like I said, who currently works as a coach, a mentor, and a licensed real estate broker in San Diego. And you started door knocking at the age of 10 with his father. Yep. Oh my. Yep. So that was my daughter. She started door knocking at the age of 7 with me.
Wow.
We have something in common.
Right.
He started, like I said, he started door knocking, and he became a realtor in 1993, consistently receiving numerous top performer awards, and has helped thousands of families across the nation. Welcome, Steve. You're highly spoken on different stages, so I'm so excited about this. Thank you for sharing your message of judgment, justification, vulnerability, accountability, and all of that good stuff, your personal story. Thank you. Welcome, Steve.
Thank you.
So let's kick this off.
Also, real quick, it sounds like Matt's joining as well.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And if you don't mind me just kicking this off with a quick precursor, if y'all don't know, just over a year ago, Steve, Matt, and myself did a webinar talking about some of the initial impacts and initial reactions to doing business in COVID-19, right? So it was super early on. There were still so many unknowns. People didn't really know if it was what the death rate was, what the rate of spreading was, how long it was going to be around. There was so much uncertainty in the world, but Stephen and Matt, being leaders in their business, were able to quickly identify ways that they can continue operating at a high level to move forward in their business. And now we fast forward, 12 some odd months later, we know so much more. The world is obviously opening back up at its own rate. And we wanted to use this as an opportunity to reflect on some of those learnings and to discuss what some of the permanent changes may be going through this business and into the future. So Stephen, excellent top producing realtor of San Diego, like Jonky just introduced. Matt Boyce, who's jumping on the call, is VP.
I'm here. It's saying that my video can't be turned on. So,
well, let's fix that.
I didn't want to be the one to tell you, Matt, but maybe
is
it's
it?
not that
I
good.
promise. I took a shower today.
We can't
Just
smell you.
add him as co-host.
We just don't want to see you.
I'm sure.
Give it a try now.
Yeah, you could try it now.
There we go.
Hey,
Hey, we're here.
Hey. Good to
Perfect.
have face to face. This is awesome.
That's right.
Yeah, well, let me make a quick introduction. I don't know you, but I have read about you. You are a Matt Boyce. He is a partner at Garden State Home Loans that is in Cherry Hill, located in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. And you've been totally focused on this since 2004. You've done $1 billion worth of sales volume, and you've established a lifelong referral partnership with so many different realtors across the nation. So welcome. Just in a real quick, short clip intro about you. But you know what you just said, Randy? You guys met about a year ago talking about, hey, what's going to happen? We didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Tell us now that we go back and look a year later, what are you guys thinking mindset wise, and how has that changed our real estate industry? I mean, everything is so Zoom based, but give us a little bit of feedback from your angle.
Just for
Steve, you want
Randy.
to take that?
Anybody,
I mean,
take.
it's the first 3.5 weeks in California anyway, real estate was not deemed an essential service, right? So we were shut down, and I had a bunch of escrows going, and I didn't even know what was going to happen. So in the beginning, there was just so much uncertainty. And for what Randy was saying a few minutes ago, we didn't know how any of this would play out. Mortality rates, just business in general, what businesses were going to survive, what wasn't. I mean, everything was just kind of playing through your mind. And what's interesting is when I started in real estate in 1993 in Canada, which is where I'm from originally, I started in a recession, right? And then I moved to San Diego, to the United States, really. And then San Diego was my destination. That's where my wife is from. So I moved here to get married and be with her. And I moved here in 2008. What happened in 2008? It was a recession.
Mm-hmm.
And then, when we spoke roughly over a year ago, Randy, or about a year ago, right, doing this webinar,
Yep.
COVID just hit, right? Like I literally was flying back from the mastermind that I was able to speak on for Chime in Phoenix. And then that's literally when COVID was hitting.
Wow.
Right. And the whole world just got turned upside down. And just remembering all of those things and the uncertainty and having to figure it out. Right. So this is kind of like my third kick at how do you have to pivot to stay relevant and not just buy the story of recession or pandemic, or, there's an asteroid that's going to take out the planet, which is my ideal background.
I actually see it right behind you. I can see it coming.
Yeah, I was wondering, are you spinning around the world there? What's going on, Steve?
Yeah, I'm working out of my car, and so I figured I'd do this. I'd be interplanetary. But in the beginning of COVID, I didn't know what to do. It was very interesting because it was the first time there wasn't much I could do. So I kind of enjoyed a bit of a break, which I think everybody did.
Mm-hmm.
But then after about 10 days or 2 weeks of like, okay, I was going kind of batshit crazy. And then I wrote a 90-day transformational coaching program for myself. And I brought 10 people along the ride with me. And it had to do with more than just work. It was mindset, limiting beliefs, celebrating ourselves, giving to, the unsuspecting, like being charitable. Like I created about 13 things that I would do in a day. And then everybody that I brought along on the journey with me, we all exploded, like our businesses exploded. I remember at the end of October, November, I think I put 14 transactions together in about 40 days.
That's so
And most people were like, how the hell are you doing it? And there was a point where I failed to believe that the market was going to dictate my future or my success, right? It was a mindset.
Mhm.
And as we all know right now, like this market still, like depending on where you're all attending from, San Diego, we have less than a month of inventory, right? So you better be freaking like amazing at putting offers together and creating rapport. So for me, it wasn't just, okay, how do I stay relevant in business? But it was like, okay, how do I still achieve at a super high level in business? And, I feel incredibly badly for a lot of the buyers that I would normally take on, which I can't right now. Like, how do you work with a VA or an FHA right now when people are waiving appraisal contingencies and paying over and above appraised value out of pocket and, having cash reserves? Like, you really have to whittle away at how you stay relevant and who to invest your time into. And so I had to, it was just a lot of tough decisions. And the other thing that I realized was I can't make stuff happen. I can't will somebody to accept a VA offer, right? When I'm getting destroyed by 40,000 over asking price, and here's my veteran, which I do everything I can to appeal to somebody else's senses, for what our veterans go through, but money talks, and it's so substantial. It's not $1,500 or 800 over ask. It's like 30, 50, 80,000 over asking price. So
well.
I had to cut back a lot, and focus on what was working.
I totally agree with you, Steve. I mean, bringing Matt in right now and actually thinking about what we went through and what we're going through now and how it's changed real estate. We're seeing multiple offers across, but like you said, FHA and VA, sadly, it's just the other day, a property that was listed at $1 million, I think 1.7, went for closer to 2 mil. Yep. And it's like, it shocks me to see that, people are willing to pay such prices, right? And that where does that leave our FHA and VA clients, right?
It's funny, not to cut in. I have literally right before this call, I have a VA buyer my team is working with. The VA appraiser took 3.5 weeks to get back to us, basically.
Wow.
And in New Jersey and Pennsylvania, that's a long time. Usually we're at about a 1.5 week turn time. I know other parts of the country they're happy if they get a month turn time. But then she came in and she initiated Tidewater, which is a code word for low value.
Yeah.
And then it took us another week to even get comps to her, or for her to review the comps. We still don't know the value. In the meantime, the seller's going, look, I took the VA buyer because I love the military. I want to help a military buyer. My company has a good rapport with the listing agent. We've done everything right, but hey, I'm gonna have to cut them loose and go with this conventional 20%, 30% buyer at the same price. And it's no fault of the military buyers, but it really is a shame that a lot of people are getting squeezed right now.
Yeah, and that's exactly, like, you see the difference. I mean, we thought COVID, and this is what I tell our clients as well, Steve, is that we thought COVID would really slow down the real estate market way back in March of 2020. But, when it first started, but now, and then that month happened where, California was just at a standstill in March, remember that? And then all of a sudden it was like, wear your gloves, use your hand sanitizer and put your mask on, and the PED forms. I mean, as a listing agent, that was like, oh my goodness. Literally I was at a doctor's office making those appointments. But now fast forward to today, we're seeing that is still in place. Even though CAR has kind of loosened the belt a little bit, we're still seeing that we are used to something like that now as realtors, right?
Well, and just to go for full circle too, and of course to promote Chime, because I'm a big fan.
Yes.
Who Chime? What?
Who's Chime? What? Yeah.
So I just have to say, I mean, the thing that I saw was this pandemic really kind of catapulted our industry 5-10 years into the future, where we're now having to implement the technology. We're going virtual on multiple fronts. As a lender, we're starting to do virtual closings. We're going to see more and more. Well, I know. Well, at least I haven't had to go to a settlement in quite a while. That's been pretty nice.
Yeah.
But good. I'm sorry.
So sorry, but I have to say, I have to chime in on this one. Chime, I actually did not have Chime before the pandemic. Let me just put it that way. The technologies that I have implemented within our team and our expansion teams is bringing Chime along. And that being said, everyone that is here, sign up for Chime today and receive your free personal demo, people. It is, it's a game changer for our team. We love Chime, and everything is in one platform. And of course, they're giving an exclusive LCA discount. So the links are posted right there. And if you do need to leave, remember this webinar and all the previous webinar has already been recorded. That link is here as well.
And then if you sign up, Randy actually will fly out to where you are and buy you a drink in person at the local bar. Hey, could be non-alcoholic. Could be non-alcoholic.
I didn't say that.
Hey, I have flown to Matt's office before, so it's not completely unheard of.
Yeah, that's where we are. And we did a Chime webinar. It was great for all my agents. But I got to tell you guys, so I know that we have a good amount of people on here. We have 35 people. It's awesome. And hopefully we replay this. I have to just say, and I wonder before, this is going to be a great conversation. I'm excited about it. But I have to say, think about, Brandy and I were talking before this, and I had a lot of agents of mine. I know that, even any salesperson will tell you they're either a phone person or they're an in-person person. Right. So you're either at the bars, at the clubs, at the restaurants, at the country clubs, all over. You meet people and you talk to people. My wife gets so mad at me because I talk to everybody. And I'm like, well, we have nice things. We have nice things because I talk to people. So think about, we went from that to how are you going to communicate with people? How are you going to interact? It's social. It's on social media. It's technology. It's all the platforms that are out now. But here's the other thing. If you're on social media all the time and you're asking for business, what's your call to action? Yeah. What is it? Most agents just, I'm showing a house. Look at this cool thing. Look at this thing. But there's never a call to action. They're just hoping that somebody's going to DM you on Instagram or Facebook or whatever it is, and you're going to get them as a buyer or a seller, but there's no real structure to what you're posting on social media or emails or anything like that. You're just sending everything out there and hoping to get a return. And worse yet is you're not tracking that return. Yeah. So you can't forecast. You can't say, wow, we did these Google ads and they brought back a 20% capture rate and we converted. Let's put more money into it. You're just haphazardly throwing shit against the wall and you're hoping that it sticks. So what I've seen more and more, we've onboarded 123 agents since the pandemic started, because I have an enterprise account with Chime. I have a team that onboards Chime. We train, we market, we do all that stuff. We're kind of a self-enclosed version of Chime. And it's worked out great for my referral partners. But they've now, when they post things, they can go, hey, I'm in the neighborhood. I love this neighborhood. By the way, if you want to see what's for sale right now, click the link in my bio. It takes them to a landing page for that neighborhood of either sold comps or active comps. People click on it, captures them, puts them into your Chime database, and it starts dripping them appropriately and will nurture them until they convert. Yeah. So just having a foundation, a CRM like Chime, coupled with the fact that we're so virtual now, is such a winning combination. And I'm going to be real frank, if you're an agent watching this and you don't have that set up, you're just going to be left in the dust, because your market share is going to be taken by agents that do know what they're doing with that, and other techie companies, the Redfins of the world, that are spending millions and millions of dollars, not billions, to grab that market share from all of you. So Chime, they all work, but I love Chime. I think it's the best mousetrap. I think it's definitely a necessity.
There's no doubt in my mind that this industry is going to maintain a high degree of, they're going to put a significant value on relationships. Like, that is going away. However, because we were all locked inside for however many months, it just turbocharged how relationships can be built online, right? So my fiance is an incredible example. She got her license in June of last year. We were all locked inside And she's like, okay, I'll start a business where I have to meet people face to face, right? And she has picked up over $4 million worth of production in Atlanta, where our average home price is $250,000, by meeting people and building relationships with them online, right? So by the time they meet in person, it's like they've known each other for years, right? Because she embraced the technology that either Chime gives you or connects to, and allows you to foster these relationships with a larger audience online than you can ever have in person. Think about it. You go to your local watering hole or wherever you're going to meet people, you are limited to only the people who will ever go to that one place, right? Which can be enough if you're just looking to carry on a lifestyle, but if you're looking to grow a big business, big real estate business, you've got to open yourself up to the world of the people of the internet.
Yeah,
and you can't maintain.
Well,
Steve, I had a question for you.
Yeah.
So Randy brings up a great point with now everything's virtual, but let me ask you, with your CRM, are you finding a lot of buyers are just, they're dipping their toe into the market, they're getting scared, they walk it back, but now you have systems hitting them, with listings, property alerts, market reports, things of that nature. And then are you now seeing them, now that things are opening back up, they're communicating with you again and you're able to convert them down the road?
So I'm just going to say yes and no. Yes, people are reaching out randomly, but no, in the sense that, yes, things are opening up, but because real estate has gone back to a new normal, let's just call it, right, with our COVID forms, like the PED forms and all of that stuff, it wasn't really harming the people in my database to kind of hold back. The major issue that is the big news around San Diego pretty much and nationwide is just a lack of inventory. So when I send out my my monthly market report and I blast that out to my entire database, basically I've been educating my clients for the past year and a half or a year and 4 months or whatever for COVID. So the people in my database have already understood how to do business and what's going on and what I'm educating them on. So I'm not all of a sudden seeing people, it's a very, very small percentage of the people in my database that when I'm making my calls are saying, okay, I'm starting to feel better about COVID and let's get out there. My message has been more like, there ain't shit for sale, but I'm someone who can help you get a little bit of what's out there.
Well,
So
I totally agree with you, Steve, because it's the same thing here. Like I said, I personally started Chime about 8 months ago, right when we went into COVID. And Randy, I told Randy, I don't know if I'm making the right decision, but you know what? I need this. And now fast forward 9 months, 10 months later, I'm just mentally blown off to say, wow, I wish I had known Chime ahead of time. I've been in the business 17 years, and discovering new things. That's what COVID did to us, right? Our business has propelled, like where we've now, had an expansion team beginning to have in all different states. So yeah, Chime has been amazing help in that part as well.
To your point, the unfortunate part about our industry is that because there are so many different platforms, how does the average agent or broker understand what the best system is for them, right? Unless they kind of come across it. So you probably have your own story of how you came across Chime, right? But like there's our office, it wasn't me, I don't run our office, I'm an independent in my office, but for years they used Boomtown. And then Boomtown just, for whatever reason, thought they were the big dog, like a Blockbuster, and you can never go away. And, Netflix destroyed Blockbuster and, Boomtown, people, right? So people started to leave like
we're
crazy.
blunt here. We're just
Randy, love that.
I know, right?
We say it how it is.
Boomtown's like, I'm going to charge you $2,000 a month for what Chime can do for a fraction of that.
Right?
And we're not getting paid from Chime, by the way. Just FYI, full disclosure.
Wait, you're not? I am. What are you talking about?
Okay, all right, let's be real.
I get my Chime checks every month. What are you talking about?
Right?
No,
If
It
If
was
any
interesting,
technology company gets called Blockbuster, they might as well hang it up.
All right.
right?
Well, hey, and I'll go one step further too. You know, listen, we use Salesforce on the mortgage side. My company, we put about a little over $1 million into our CRM. So it just shows you how bought in we are, because we have to compete against the Quicken Loans of the world, you know, and they're literally spending billions to do what we're trying to do and retarget all your buyers and everything. So, but I'm going to tell you that you guys, with the limited inventory, you're not going to be able to get buyers under contract like you used to. So
No.
what are you going to need to get your numbers to maintain your goals and to do more business? You need more buyers.
Exactly.
You're going to need more buyers. Before, you know, listen, I just did a video about, everyone keeps saying we're in a bubble, it's going to burst. And I did a comparison between 2008, when Steve, you got in the business, and 2020, which everyone's saying, well, right before it burst, and 08, we were before it burst. In 08, we had a 12 plus supply of inventory. We're less than 3 months now. The average credit score, a couple of fun facts, the average credit score in 2008 was a 671. Average credit score 2020 nationwide is a 750. So we have better qualified buyers. Average equity, the average equity in 2008 was about 10 to 15% across the board. The average equity in 2020 is 40%.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a much stronger, oh, and not to mention us as lenders are the worst ever at lending money these days.
Very
And the hard-
conservative.
Very conservative. Trust
Yeah.
me, I bang my head against this flag every day. But I'm telling you, we are in a much different environment right now. Oh, and the builders dropped the ball. And over the last 10 years, have built about half as many houses as they should have been building nationwide. So this shortage is going nowhere. It's going to stay where it is. We're not going to have that big influx of short sales and foreclosures because we have better qualified people in the houses right now. So we're going to have a little bit, but it's not going to be like it was 09, 2010. So I think we're going to be just fine in our market. It's just going to be tough, and you need more people in your pipeline, meaning you need a CRM to cultivate more buyers, to manage them. It all full circle. So everyone, you know, that's my take on the numbers and what you got to do to survive.
But again, you know, the buyer pool that you have to identify that's going to give you the business that you're looking for needs to have cash and cash reserves and cash surplus.
Absolutely.
Like try in this market here anyway. In different parts of the country, not so bad.
Right.
But inventory under 1 month over here, you know, it's insanity. And so here's a perfect example of my ideal client, and it would be everyone's ideal client. So we just closed on a house about two and a half weeks ago, and one of the people in my network reached out to me, and they were like, "Hey, can you show me this house?" I'm like, "Absolutely." And the house was listed at 1.825. We went in, multiple offers, of course. They were all cash, no contingencies. So we wrote 1.9 escalating clause, no contingencies, and a free 45-day rent back for the seller. And we won, but let's just say that I wish I had a lot more of those buyers, because that's something that is bulletproof, right?
They're basically not going to lose. There's
Right.
no way they can lose.
Right. But I've worked with other purchasers, right, that the husband and wife were both attorneys, and they were newer attorneys, so they were building up their cash reserves and stuff like that. And I was probably 8, 9 lost offers in, you know, and after a while, two things happen. They get discouraged, right? Just depending, because you can get discouraged after a while.
Absolutely.
How do you keep their morale up? And then the agent can also get discouraged, just depending on the way you're feeling about the market, right? Because that stuff creeps into your head. It's like, I'm never, and I experienced that for a while. Like for a while, I'm like, this sucks. I hate this shit. You know, I went through my own roller coaster ride of emotion.
Every time we lose an offer, that's exactly the roller coaster we go through, but we have to right here hustle.
Oh, yeah.
And
Right
get
back.
back into action, right?
Absolutely.
And that's where time comes in, is you don't have that scarcity of business coming in, or, you know, all the different bells and whistles that Chime has with the landing pages and all that good stuff. And the
Lead
smart
gen,
plan,
everything. Yep.
yeah, and the smart plans and everything that we have, you know, and here a little bit of ad advertising for Chime, sign up with Chime today and of course receive your free personal demo and exclusive LCA discount, you guys. I'm telling you,
Free
we're
drink.
killing it. And a free drink. There you go.
From Randy, personally.
Hey, I'm going to tell you. I'm
Are
going
you
to tell
a
you.
liquor license, Matt? What's going on here?
Hey, listen,
Wait, I take it right back. I'm not advocating that.
I have my mic cabinet back there. I might have to break some out.
LCA, full
hey-
disclosure, LCA is not,
Right.
not part of
I'm
that.
just joking. I'm joking. I don't like tequila at all. I hate it. So,
Right.
okay. But I will tell you, Steve, actually, listen, here's the thing. Any agent that's watching this right now, you guys are a resource. That's all you are. That's all we are, right? So I'm telling you, there's so much misinformation out there. And frankly, agents that probably shouldn't be giving advice.
Yeah.
Either they're not doing the research or they don't have the experience or whatever it might be, whether they're good intentions or not. They're not. So if you're somebody that really has a pulse on the market, like Steve, that knows what's going on, you're the boots on the ground. Forget about what you're reading in whatever app you're in or New York Times or that. They don't know. These reporters don't know real estate. The guys like Steve know real estate. Guys like people like you guys know real estate. So here's an idea. You put together a video, right? You do a weekly video. I do. It's called Mondays with Matt. And I send it to my entire database. I never miss a Monday. And it's either a video, but sometimes people are sick of seeing me. So I do a breakdown, an email. But if you have a database, which Randy likes to refer to it as the data bank, because that's your bank.
Yes.
Data bank.
I like that. Data bank. Oh, no.
It's a data bank. Hashtag data bank.
That's right.
So if you have a database now, right, in Chime, you have your closed pipeline, you have your prospects, people that you haven't spoken to yet, people that are your current clients. Imagine being able to easily put an email together. Chime integrates with BombBomb and YouTube and whatever, a video together, and you're now easily sending it out to everybody in your database.
Yep.
And you're giving them a weekly update, because you might talk about this every day and not think anything of it, but these people don't really know what's happening.
Yep.
So you're giving tips on getting your offer accepted. You're telling stories. You're doing engaging. There's no bad content. Well, there's probably some bad content, but you get the idea. And then on top of it, of course, you're posting on your social media, whatever. But a lot of these people aren't friends with you on social media. A lot of these people, you snag them from ads and other things that you've done with your landing pages, and they want to get to know you. So I guarantee you, if you do video, 30-second minute videos, and send that out weekly consistently, because consistency compounds, right, Randy?
Yes, sir. It sure does.
It's a game changer. You're going to dominate your market. It's really that simple.
Yeah, Matt's exactly right. Like, so what are the phrases that everyone in the entire country has heard the past couple of months? Inventory is low, lumber is expensive.
Yep.
Like everybody has heard that, but that's generally where the conversation stops. Like, there's no one to interpret that.
Right.
That's a problem. Where's the solution?
Yes,
Who's getting around
exactly.
that? Yeah.
So what Matt's saying is, take that surface level conversation and dissect it and educate and be of value to your database, and then you're earning the right to ask for their business, right? So that's the key piece here. There's more people searching online than ever before. Literally, in the history of the world, there's more people searching online now than ever. Simultaneously, there are fewer homes for sale than ever before in the history of the world. So you have this many people and this much to sell them. You have to be able to scale your efforts to reach a large audience so that you can filter out the people who genuinely are in a position to buy and sell.
So here's what I wanted to put out there as well, because like we're talking about what have we learned in the past year and a bit in the pandemic. But there was something that I was doing before that. I call it farming professionals, right? Not just my regular database buyers and sellers, but I'm huge into hunting for attorneys and wealth managers and CPAs, and I do that a lot. Like that's where a bulk of my business comes from. So like the more you're educating people, like what Matt's talking, Mondays with Matt and putting stuff out there, or Randy's talking about working your data bank, all these people that are in your sphere. As human beings, we're looking for value, right? We're always looking on things that we pick up on. Oh my gosh, did you hear that? Or, oh, that's great. Or, whatever we whatever tidbit we pick up, we want to implement it. And then if we really believe in it, we share it, right? So as I've been doing, as I've been working to bring incredible value to these people, not just through the pandemic, but for a long time, part of my morning this morning, a wealth manager reached out, right? Because I always make myself as the consummate resource for them, period.
Mhm.
So he calls me up and, hey, can you share one of your contractors with me? That's the attorney that called me, a massive attorney, and they just call you like friends. And then the next thing you know, they're also calling to give you referrals, right? That's what happens. And then with the wealth manager, someone passed away and it's going to take a bit of time. And he's like, they probably won't sell right away, but can you, see what's on this trust for me? Can you read it accurately on the tax records? So it's like, as you're doing all of these things, if you start implementing what Matt's talking about and actually put a weekly educational or fun or whatever thing together, people start relying on you, right? Like that's what we don't realize is what's actually happening behind the scenes for the people that we're building relationships with, that we don't even realize we're building relationships with, right? Like, be valuable, dig in deeper. Randy's saying lumber and low inventory. Okay, so how do you have a conversation around low inventory? And when is it going to come back? Everybody wants to know that. Like, what's your prediction? And I'd love to own a lumber mill right now because they're freaking kicking ass. Apparently, it's tariffs from my relatives in Canada that problem with the trade agreement. But like, everybody wants to know what's up, right? So as you're putting your content out there, as you're driving your business forward, remember, don't put yourself in as, oh, I'm the realtor sharing information. Imagine you're the consumer for a second, and what would you expect from the realtor that you would want to work with?
Right.
Put that shit out there. Give that kind of service. Because we all refer restaurants. We all talk about our favorite meal in that restaurant. We talk about our favorite destination, the best hotel we stayed at. Ask for so-and-so. We do that. But then we forget that we're the person that we want to be referred to when people are thinking about real estate, right? Drop massive value on people.
And always come from contribution. That's something I've learned from way back when. Come from contribution. Don't make it about you. It's about them. Put yourself in their shoes. Well, gentlemen, it was great talking to you guys. Thank you so much. Randy, any last words? Anyone, any last words we have here?
Oh, that's a short one. Are we wrapping up already?
Almost.
Randy, go for it. Last words.
Yeah, I just challenge you to build a routine that involves constantly bringing value to your database and making a conscious effort to grow your database on a daily basis. The reason why the term data bank came around was because you deposit contacts and leads and people and potential business into your database, and then when you're showing up to the closing table, that's when you're withdrawing, right? So if you aren't making a conscious decision to grow and scale your database every day, you're falling behind, right? Because your competitors are. And and another thing that really trips people up is every contact in your database is probably in 6 or 7 other realtors' CRMs as well, right? Like,
that was something I was about to say too, right?
Yeah, please go ahead. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, because it's true, and it scares people. But like, don't be scared by it. It's just true.
But what is it that you're doing differently than the other realtor? They're gonna want to know, what is your database shooting out? Yesterday, I had a guy who texted me saying, I'm seeing a little bit of decline with the Altus research that you just sent me in Alameda County. Is that true? And then he said, there's multiple offers still out there. So it was a discussion opening discussion. And of course, I emailed him back and we had a discussion back and forth. But how did that happen? Of course, he was in my Chime database. We sent out numbers. What are you sending out in your newsletters? I think, and like Matt said, with what he does every Monday consistently, when you do something consistently, your buyers, your clients are looking forward to hearing from you about it, right?
It's all about starting a conversation. And wait, you're going to love this. And whoever stayed on to the end, I'll give you a little thing that's working great. Now that things are opening back up, people want to be out. They're not as afraid to go to these houses anymore. Open houses, even though these houses are selling like that, open houses are bringing in 30 to 50 people a clip, right?
Okay.
So some that we've been implementing with all of our agents is we're putting together, our flyers, and sometimes not even big QR code.
Right.
That QR code drops into your Chime landing page. They fill out the information. Then we've written a perfect follow-up smart plan in Chime. So imagine somebody goes to your open house, they sign in. Imagine if you could perfectly follow up with them. What would you do? A text a few hours later. It's kind of like you just got back from a date. You don't want to text them right away, right? That's weird. I can't believe Randy has a fiance, because I heard he was just terrible with the dating scene. So imagine
and
you were
responding to text messages for sure.
Oh. Randy's some kind of guy, like, he texts you and then like you don't respond. He texts you like 8 more times when you were in the shower, and you're like, whoa, Randy, like you're a little clingy. I'm sorry, bud. I'm not gonna date you. But
no, I'm certainly, my fiance is not marrying me for my communication skills. I will own up to that. I will definitely own up to that. And let me add on.
So I was going to say, like, that is a perfect example of now you have 50 people a clip, whatever, going into your data bank, your database, and you have it and you're dripping them and all you're trying to do, to your point before, you're starting a conversation. That's it. So wait, this is the best part. This is what I forgot I wanted to say. So we've had now, I've had it on my whiteboard. I was making notes. I was like it was days I was in jail. Like how many people have we converted? We now are at 6 people that have responded back to this perfect follow-up in Chime from the open house QR codes. And they said, this is like a week, 2, 3 weeks later. And they said, to the agent, I've received more information and follow-up and communication from you than I have my realtor now. And it just seems like you have your shit put together. Let's work together. So they're converting buyers that are already working with agents, where mostly a lot of agents hear, oh, you work with another agent. Yeah, never mind. But we all know there's a lot of agents that aren't really good at what they're doing. Yes. So if you have a system like this, you're going to convert. That's the bottom line. Take action. Take action is the only thing I can say. If you want to do it and put things in your calendar you're going to implement, and just take action. That's it.
And when you say take action, right here, I'm going to make my pitch. Sign up, Chime today, free personal demo. And I'm telling you, I didn't regret it. Steve didn't regret it. And Matt definitely hasn't regretted it. I think it's an amazing platform, one and all platform. You can do so much. And we also have a Facebook group, by the way, Chime Forum, which is amazing, you guys. We, as realtors, always post our concerns or comments or success stories right there. And, we learn from each other, right? Especially in that Facebook group. So I think that is going to be, really, what is the word I'm looking for, you guys? It's going to be a bonus. It's actually a bonus for you guys to really, get in there and learn from everyone, not only Steve and Matt, but you've got so many other realtors as well over there. And of course, LCA discount, the link is right there. Steve, before I wrap up real quickly, I wanted to ask you something. So now that you see it before and after COVID, and Matt has said, listen, a lot of people think that we're going to we're in a bubble, and he explained all those numbers. What are your thoughts on that? What do you see with the San Diego market?
Yeah, no bubble here. Potentially a correction in the future. Just like any stock market graph, there's always some sort of a correction, but
right,
because inventory is so low, and I just look at the domino effect of everything. So the domino effect of COVID has basically wiped out inventory. The only way to get inventory back is for a few things to happen, which is, unfortunately catastrophic, in my opinion, to start to get that momentum back.
Right.
whether it's a massive interest rate hike or some sort of world financial crisis happens and everyone starts to panic, or, something happens on a major level. But it's kind of like stopping the momentum of a train, right? It takes so much to get it going, and then it takes so much for it to stop.
Oh.
But when it's in motion, it's in motion. Like for years, we were hovering at inventory levels of 2.2 to 2.5 months, right?
Mhm.
So even though a healthy marketplace, if not one more for sale sign goes up, is 5 to 6 months of inventory, we were doing okay with 2.5 months. We could make things happen. But at 0.6, 0.7 months of inventory, I mean, that's a big momentous train to start moving again. And where we lose focus in all of that, where people don't really think, is that a seller has to find something, right? They have to find replacement housing. And the unfortunate part of real estate, and I hate to say this, is because most agents don't know how to do a sell buy and give the seller confidence that on the buy side, hey, we'll be able to find you what you're after. And if not, you don't have to move, because I'll structure everything that way.
Exactly.
So there's way too much that has to happen in professionalism, I
Right.
believe, in this industry in order to get the momentum back a lot quicker, or there's destruction that has to happen in order to kind of reset the marketplace. And I wanted to just go back and for 1 second and just say again, for those that are still on here, and working with Chime, the one thing that people have gotten used to is screen FaceTime, right? Like they're used to watching more messages now or having live, in-person Zooms and things like that. But if you send out, again, through Chime, using BombBomb or YouTube, I use BombBomb, right? All these messages and talk about what's going on, become relevant, and be a big factor in what helps somebody decide to sell or buy or even move out of state, right? They might move out of state.
Right.
But if they let you know that, then it's like, I got a killer agent in that location too. Like you can make a referral out of it. So getting the video content out there and using your partner in Chime that's integrated with all these things out there to really create like relevance. Right? When you see a commercial where you watch Oprah, you don't know Oprah, but you feel like you know Oprah, right? Like she cries on TV and all this stuff. And people will feel the same way about you if you're putting this content out there that you're just being real, you're being vulnerable, you're being authentic, but you're also using these mediums which other people aren't.
Yeah,
so
and
just,
by the way, Steve,
consider that.
cut you off. This is all you need. This is it.
Yeah.
This is the key. This is going to make you $1 million. This thing right here, a little ring light. I got a little clippy thing that goes above my screen. A ring light, and not even Steve's in his freaking car right now. He's in his car.
I'm in outer space
with the solar system behind him.
You see, this is what I mean.
Don't
right?
overcomplicate it. Just make some video.
And don't overthink it either,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it's so simple. It's so simple to really, before COVID, after COVID, during COVID, what has actually changed and how we're actually staying focused and relevant. There you go. There's Steve right there. The original Steve right there, right?
Right, but this is where I work, right? This is what I like to do.
Oh, what a jerk!
Suckers!
Oh, what a jerk! San Diego.
But this is it. You could do whatever you want from wherever you want and
Right.
still have a high performing business. It's all here, right? Your story, but technology, right? Technology is what's going to help you achieve that.
Right. And like I said, right in March, April of last year, I had no clue what Chime is going to do for me. And here I am, here you are, Steve and Matt. I mean, this Chime is an amazing platform. Just give it a try. Again, we've got all kinds of discounts for you through LCA and, free personal demo. Just click on that link right there.
I want to add to that.
Yeah.
We brought the thread up often enough. We've talked about Chime repeatedly through this as well, but this isn't a paid, this is like what it's done for us. This like there's a level of excitement based on what the company has done for us, right? And also with us because they listen.
Right.
So that's the other thing. Like
besides looking at Randy's eyes matching his shirt, and just be mesmerized by those green eyes there or blue, whatever they are. There's really no reason for me to talk to that man. So
we having man crush.
No, there isn't, because you're a 76ers fan and I'm a Hawks fan right now. So there's no reason for us to be getting along right now. But look at
that's right.
friends.
That's right.
sure,
F
it all
you,
goes
Randy.
downhill.
Well, see, there you go. That's a difference right there. So that's a good difference right there. So gentlemen, any further information you want to share with our, listeners out there, or not listeners? I usually say that on my radio show.
Right.
Anyone out there on our webinar?
My biggest thing that I wanted to say was, like, don't let the market dictate how you do your business. Just understand what the market needs in any particular environment, and you will still kick ass at your business.
And have a resolution and have a solution instead of focusing on the problem, right, Steve? I mean, that is so relevant in this market. We've got open houses coming back. We've got, buyers shifting more from online now to going and seeing properties. But again, obviously we have to take precautions here in California as much as we need to. And, we continue. And the fact of the matter is that, there's no bubble. And Matt just said it earlier that, even when the interest rates do rise and they do go a little bit higher in January, or whatever they're predicting it to be, the lenders are still going to be very conservative in lending,
Yeah. And they're getting more conservative. That's a whole other,
right.
That's a whole other webinar.
Yes.
But hey, I just want to thank LabCoatAgents. Thanks for the invite. You guys are great. You guys have been here since day one of Facebook, I feel like. So you guys are, and plenty of entertainment in your group, by the way. Plenty of entertainment. I get my popcorn. I like to watch it. I love realtors. I had one of my realtors married my wife and I. So I'm all in. A lot of lenders, bad talk, agents. I love agents. I'm in.
Well, we're very grateful for, everyone that, listens to us, and it's fun. LCA is all about education, right? Bringing value to our realtors and, growing together. And who better than, you guys to make it what it is today. And of course, definitely sponsors and vendors like Chime and so many others that are constantly with us. So thank you so much. And Matt from Cherry Hill, amazing lender, Garden State lender. And of course, Steve, I'm going to come visit you in July, San Diego.
Call me.
I'm excited. Yes, we will. And Randy, thank you. Thank you for everything. Thank you.
It's always my pleasure.
Absolutely. All right, gentlemen.
Anybody need anything, just message me on Facebook. I'll get right back to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Matt.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
I'll take it easy.
Bye.
Bye.